Oftentimes, we find ourselves on autopilot. We get into a routine, no matter how simple or busy it is, and tunnel vision ourselves. This is also usually mutually inclusive with losing sight of our initial purpose and veering off from the goal we set out for ourselves in the first place. When faced with a situation such as this, the typical solution is to do something new and disrupt the repetition. For me, a form of how this has happened laid in content creation itself. I started this channel with the intention of promoting authenticity and building a community with a strong foundation of genuine interactions. I was inspired by the numerous other creators who preached the notion of bringing back old YouTube, gaming commentaries, and avoiding the hyper-engagement style editing. But I was trapped by the obvious enemy that I had already singled out to be the probable main obstacle before I started. Numbers, metrics, and comparison. So not long ago, I found a creator by the name of Talking to Creepers. Amongst the plethora of other creative minds I look up to, this channel was another one that gave an impression. The creator of said channel started uploading videos with one other main aspect that I held near and dear to my heart: intentionality. The type of content in that channel was well within the boundaries of what I was familiar with: background gameplay with raw commentary as an accompaniment. But the intention lies in how she told a story about how she wasn't the best at communicating and wanted to use the channel as a medium for practice. Whenever she would use filler words like or she would penalize herself and have to find a creeper in Minecraft, talk to it, and somehow kite the mob to wherever her base was and slowly amass a collection. Now, I'm not 100% sure about the mechanics of how the penalty was supposed to work, but that was the main idea, and hence the channel name, Talking to Creepers. In one of her other videos, she mentioned how she has tried YouTube multiple times before, saw some level of success in the past, but struggled to gain significant traction. She was also motivated by the idea of helping her husband earn some side income to help out with the family, which was noble. But the important part was when she shifted the conversation back from monetary gain to what actually mattered to her: creating from an authentic place. That channel stuck with me because I had a video in the past which garnered around 500 viewers, which in hindsight is not a lot compared to the ceiling of larger content creators, but I lost sight of how if I told myself that I would be sitting in a room talking to 20 people, the sheer idea of it would make me get stage fright, let alone 500 people. After that video, I was constantly checking YouTube Studio to look at the analytics, view count, and all the other numbers after every upload. It was a toxic behavior that slowly crept up on me without realizing. Then, fast forward a couple days or weeks after that, I uploaded another video. A day after, I clicked on my YouTube Studio app only to see that there were 0 views. Now I know that this channel in itself is still very, very small, but from previous uploads, the first 24 hours would usually see videos get at least around 10 to 20 viewers. So I subconsciously thought that it was the default minimal outcome for every upload. Seeing that sudden drop in number paralyzed me. I thought, is this the end of the road? Was I really not cut out for this in the first place? Were the people who doubted me in my life right? But then, after watching that video, it was as if I got slapped back to reality. A faint voice in my heart began to surface, and I thought to myself, end of the road? You just started. Other creators have decades over you, and you're gonna call it quits after just 3 months? Never mind that. What are you quitting from? Why was it framed as something that had a binary outcome of success or failure? I thought we started this channel because we enjoyed creating, not chasing numbers. So that wake-up call made me realize what truly mattered, your own unique voice. Because, as I have mentioned in a past video, creation in itself is what makes it special. No other person will do one thing the exact same way you do. That's why you're the niche, not the video game you pick or the trend you chase. But the one person who chooses to click on your video and thought to themselves, wow, I really related to this guy. I didn't know someone else out there was able to understand how I felt. And that's the true prize of content creation. How you can reach another human being all across the globe and make meaningful connections. I'll put up some screenshots of the kind words I have received so far. I would like to remember to appreciate that. You don't need the 4K resolution, hyper-edited movie quality, and budget video. Sure, those can coexist in the same or other platforms as a form of art, which I myself appreciate as well. The amount of work put in to create something like that is enormous, and I'm not going to take credit away from those creators, nor antagonize them. But the question to ask yourself is, what matters to you, not others? What was the first spark you had which made you want to create, which made you want to share your own voice? I think we often forget to reflect upon ourselves on this matter. Having said all this, I would like to actively reflect immediately on this channel. I made a commitment to myself to at least upload once a week for the sake of consistency and momentum. I would give myself a minimum duration of 10 minutes. At first, I just rambled about whatever topic I wanted to share with a random game playing in the background. No fancy edits or cuts, just me, the game, my voice, and you, the viewer. It helped to cut out any friction to start and keep the barrier of entry as low as possible so I can actually hit upload. But after a while, the creative juices can start to halt. That's when I introduced script writing, which I have used in a couple of my other videos, including this one. Now, you can say what you want about how reading from a script ruins authenticity, but for me, it's still my voice. Whatever I say was typed word for word by myself, so I still consider it to come from a genuine place. The main reason I started writing scripts was because I noticed that after a couple of the initial uploads, my video started to sound like it drifted a bit too much. I would struggle when recording the voiceover, there were lots of pauses, and sure, yeah, it can be fixed in post, but that was just my version of adding a form of structure to my creative process and aiming to improve something, anything, no matter how small or big, in hopes of it accumulating over time and compounding into a creation that has a level of quality I can be proud of. Now, somewhere along the way, it became a routine. This would be the second aspect I wanted to break. Aside from waking myself up from that trance of when I was so bothered by analytics, I also had to wake myself up from being complacent. So with that said, I'd like to make a new commitment for myself. It's been 3 months since I uploaded my first video. Now I think it's about time I took another step forward instead of being satisfied with the current routine. I should be appreciative, but not rest on my laurels too much. Alright, here's what it's going to be. I'll say this in my video to keep myself accountable since it will be something that is published to the internet and I can't lie to myself, or at least I will find it a bit more difficult than just saying it in my head. I've mostly uploaded on Sundays, sometimes delayed to Monday, Tuesday, or even later on in the week. But I still tried my best to stay consistent with the upload, and Now I'll try and add a new goal for myself, and I'll be uploading another video in the middle of the week, preferably Wednesday or Thursday, and it will be a new video series I've recently thought of creating. And next week will be its debut, so let's see if I can make it happen. So that's it. I hope you can find some value in this video, and if you enjoyed it, leaving a like would help a lot, and subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content. I truly appreciate it if you've made it this far, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.